Okay, guys. My name is Samuel Itimemeni. So today, before we head on, I would like to, briefly talk about the historical background of psychology. So psychology developed as researchers began um, using systematic and scientific methods to carry out experiments and research instead of just relying on philosophy and speculation. Experiment, on the other hand, is a scientific approach where researchers use to establish cause and effect relationship between variables, like manipulating independent variables and observing um, dependent variables in a controlled condition. Meanwhile, experimental psychology at its core involves the systematic and scientific method of studying behavior and mental processes in man and animal. It helps psychologists test hypotheses. It helps them make predictions. It helps them establish relationships between variables. But before we head on, there are two major approaches that dominate research methods in psychology, which are quantitative and qualitative. The earlier philosophers and psychologists relied on um, quantitative research methods, which involves the numerical collection of numerical data. They emphasized on experimental design, experimental measurement, psychometrics, psychophysics, statistical laws, and their key proponents were Wilhelm Wundt, Gustav Fechner, and Charles Spearman. Meanwhile, later on, psychologists began to think that, they thought human feelings could not always be subjected to numbers. So that gave birth to qualitative research methods. And the key proponents here were Jim Paget, Sigmund Freud, which they emphasized on human meaning. They emphasized on structured interview. They emphasized on um, personal experiences to make meanings out of perspective and life. And I will also like to pass the mic to my colleague to speak on data analysis.
I want to talk on data analysis. Data analysis is the process of collecting, organizing, analyzing, and processing of data to understand human thoughts, emotions, and behavior. It helps psychologists understand pattern, test theories, and draw evidential-based conclusion. Types of data analysis. We have the quantitative data analysis, which is the non-numeric data analysis, which could be analyzed statistically. This includes test scores, IQ scores, and numbers of behaviors observed. We also have the qualitative data analysis, which is the non-numeric data analysis. This includes observations, survey responses, and personal experiences.
Hello everyone, I'm Fabian from Psychology Department. I'm here to give a brief summary of triangulation. Triangulation is a research strategy used to enhance the credibility, validity, and depth of a study. It involves using multiple methods, data sources, investigators, or theoretical perspectives to examine a single research problem. The idea behind triangulation is that one single research method is not completely free from bias. By combining different methods, researchers can cross-verify their findings and gain more comprehensive understanding of the issue being studied. According to Norman Denzin, triangulation can take the form of data triangulation, which involves the use of more than one data sources, methodological triangulation, which involves the use of different approaches or methods. Investigator triangulation involves the use of more than one researcher or investigator. Theoretical triangulation, this involves the use of different psychological theories. So, for example, in a study on academic stress, the researcher can use surveys and interviews, collect data from various groups, and apply various psychological theories to interpret findings. So basically, triangulation helps strengthen a research by reducing bias, producing more reliable and well supported conclusions.